year began with the National Juniors and a gold medal at the World Championships in Saskatoon. It continued with the Oshawa Generals. The playoffs meant a trip to Sault Ste. Marie. And as expected, he was a very unwelcome guest. Making it even worse was watching the Sioux Greyhounds celebrate an OHL title. With June came the NHL draft, and there were no surprises.
The Quebec Nordiques are very proud to select as first pick overall in the 1991 NHL annual draft from the Oshawa Generals of the OHL, Eric Lindros.
But true to his word, Lindros did not report to the Nordiques.
They know exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. And that's it.
Next came the Canada Cup. It meant a trip to Quebec, and he was greeted with mixed emotions. But he left his mark against the world's best, despite being just a boy among men. Still eligible for junior, he returned to the OHL, where he was now a man among boys. And after starting the season in Oshawa, he shifted gears and joined Dave King's Olympic team. He starts 1992 with the national junior team, looking for their third straight gold medal, but it will be tough.
We just got to go out and win. We have 180 minutes of hockey left here. We've got to go out and win every single minute of it. And if we can do that, and everyone come together and we can play, then there's no reason why we can't be champions.
1991 is past, and today, Team Canada rings in the new year in Fussen, Germany. Canada knew heading into this tournament that Eric Lindros would have to lead this team, and so far, he has. He's led them by putting the puck in the net and by putting the opposition in its place. Still, Lindros knows that it's going to take more to conquer what has already proven to be a very tough competition at this event. Rick Cornacchia has seen good and bad so far in Fussen. The good has come in the form of goalie Trevor Kidd, who's held his team in the last 2 games. And the defense, which has lived up to its billing, controlling the opposition's offense. But the team must now gel as a whole as it begins the toughest part of the schedule. TSN, Canada's leader in international hockey coverage, is pleased to present the 1992 World Junior Hockey Championships from Fussen, Germany. Today's game is brought to you by Air Canada, a proud sponsor of international hockey. By Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. By Labatt's Blue, proud sponsor of Canada's international hockey program. And by Pepsi, it's got what it takes. The New Year's celebrations have all been concluded on this first day of 1992, and the hockey eyes of North America are now focused or refocused on Fussen, Germany, as Canada and the United States prepare to face each other in Game 5 of the World Junior Hockey Championships. Hello, Canada. I'm Jim Van Horn. Happy New Year. We hope you had a tremendous celebration. We sure had a lot of fun here less than 24 hours ago, bringing in 1992. The teams all had the 31st of December off, but they were busy on the 30th when we last checked in with Team Canada. They played to a 2-all tie against the national team from Finland, and they still kept their undefeated record alive. In other action on the 30th, it was the Soviets, now known as CIS, over Germany. The Swiss were victors, as well as Sweden. As far as today was concerned, 3 games have been completed. Sweden was victors. Finland also won. Czechoslovakia has upset the Commonwealth of Independent States 5-2, and that sets up a very interesting situation. A victory for Canada today moves them into first place, but a victory for the USA leaves them in a first-place tie with the Commonwealth of Independent States. Some very interesting turn of events here over the last couple of days. Just 24 hours ago, there was a press conference, and this announcement officially ended the Soviet Union. The Commonwealth of Independent States has taken over. CIS is the name of the new Soviet team. 24 hours ago, the Soviet flag was flying, and then today, the Soviet flag was removed, replaced by the International Ice Hockey Federation. If the Soviet anthem is to be played again, it obviously will not be played, but the International Ice Hockey Federation anthem will be played. With more on today's game, let's take you upstairs now to Paul Romanek and Gary Green. Gentlemen.
Happy New Year. One of the other big changes in terms of the Soviets is their role against Canada in international ice hockey. Certainly at the World Junior Championship, the game against the U.S. is almost as big, if not as big, as one against the Soviets. It didn't used to be like that.
No, it sure didn't. You've got to understand right now what's going on in Team USA's dressing room, Paul, is that they are full of momentum right now. They feel they've got a good hockey club. This is a team that has only won 1 medal in 15 years. They're ready for Canada today, but they feel that this game against Canada is their most important in the tournament.
It's also a team that has only defeated Canada once in the history of the World Junior Hockey Championship back in 1981.
Thank you, Paul. Coming up in our first intermission, we're going to take a walk on the Lindros side. We'll introduce you to the defensive team, Canada, and we'll have highlights of the first 20 minutes of play. In our second intermission, we'll introduce you to a famous hockey player's son. His name is Ryan. We'll have our second installation of the World Junior Diary, and we'll have highlights of the second period of play. Warm-ups continue, and we'll be back to Fussen, Germany for the opening face-off, USA and Canada on TSN.
Happy motoring, Canada. At Esso, we know that a successful station is built on service. And it's still true today. Our people are specially trained. And we use independent customer surveys to help set our high standards of service. So if you think great service is a thing of the past, you should come into Esso and let us help you on your way.
Benjamin Moore paint is sold on
If
playgrounds
you want my advice, use Benjamin Moore.
and just about everywhere
But
else.
any color, they've got it.
Because our best salesmen
It's the only paint I use.
are the people who use us. See your Benjamin Moore dealer.
Nobody does hockey like Upper Deck.
Well, the problems of victory are more agreeable than those of defeat, but they are no less difficult. It is a difficult task for any team to win 3 consecutive championships, to win 3 consecutive World Junior Hockey Championships. Well, it's unheard of. Hello again, everybody. I'm Paul Romanek along with Gary Green, and welcome to TSN's continuing coverage of the 1992 World Junior Hockey Championship. A big game coming up, Canada and the U.S. And this game, as we mentioned a few moments ago, in many ways is as big or bigger than any match against the Soviets, or now the CIS as they are known.
I think this is going to get down to a battle about goaltenders again in tonight's game. Mike Dunham and Trevor Kidd, both great goaltenders.
And a goaltender who didn't play against Canada last year, but will in fact get the start in this game, is Mike Dunham. And Mike Dunham has been nothing short of brilliant so far in this tournament. Has a 1.33 goals against average. He has been in goal for all 3 of the U.S. victories. And in goal for Team Canada, no surprise, Trevor Kidd, who has been equally brilliant in goal for Team Canada. His goals against average of 3.00, not coming nearly close to explaining how much he has meant to this team. In the last couple of games in particular, the saves he has made have been of the sparkling variety, in particular in the third period when the game has been on the line. Referees Ari Mikkonen, he is a Finnish official. Johan Norman is from Sweden, and Wilhelm Schim is from Germany. Canada, of course, dressed in the traditional red, the U.S. in the white with red and blue trim.
What Canada wanted to do in their game just 2 days ago was, in fact, they wanted to get off to a quick start. They wanted to make sure they got that puck into the zone and started to do some good forechecking in their skating leg. That never really came about. The Finnish team showed that they had good offensive abilities and could skate. And I think Team Canada already know that Team USA have even better skill and just as much speed.
Well, I don't know if Rick Kornacki would feel the same way, but I thought you nailed it earlier before the game when we were talking, when you said this is a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team so far. They've shown flashes of brilliance, the brilliance we've come to expect from our junior teams, but on the other hand, they have looked very ordinary at times.
Hasn't it been the way for Team Canada in these World Junior Championships? They always have to win the hard way, it seems. And Rick Kornacki would like to do that a little differently this year. Tonight, he needs a big win out of his team.
Well, the future always seems to struggle against being mastered, and that has really been the case for Team Canada at the World Junior Championship. Last year, it came down to the Finns having to open the side door for them by tying the Soviets. The night before, Canada went out to win the gold medal from the Soviets. They needed that help, and the year before, they needed help to win the gold medal as well. But basically, the situation now, it's like a medal round at a World Hockey Championship. If Canada can win its remaining games, or if any team can, they will likely take home the gold medal. If not, things will be tough. Destiny will be out of your own hands. And off of his own feet is Martin Lapointe as he is dumped as they line up for the face-off by Keith Taychuk. Taychuk, a Winnipeg Jets draft pick, and he dumped Lapointe. And that is one reason why the Winnipeg Jets love him, because he has that mean streak. He is aggressive. This will be a hard-hitting North American-style game, and we are underway. Niedermeyer moving it up the middle. Pass a little bit too far to handle. Dunham out to touch it, but not before it crosses the line, and icing is called. And we get some more chopping after the whistle early in this hockey game. And we'll see how quickly referee Ari Mikkonen tries to clamp down on things. He's not going to call penalties yet.
Walt Kyle has been described by his general manager, Art Berglund, as someone that has been more or less a disciple of one of former associate coaches of the National Hockey League, Lou Verrill. Walt Kyle has played in NCAA competition himself for both Boston and Northern Michigan. But he has been a 9-year assistant coach at the University of Northern Michigan.
And he was an assistant last year to Kevin Constantine, who was the head man with the U.S. junior national team. Constantine is now coaching in the International League with Kansas City. John Lilly, number 19, up on the face-off for the U.S. Another of the many good role players on this club. That's Kachuk giving a bounce off the face-off, or Taychuk as he prefers to go by. Canada coming back. Dykhouse trying to move it in, and a penalty coming up. And you knew this wasn't going to take long. It has been a very chippy opening 25 seconds. And Ari Mikkonen, the referee, clamping down on it, which would probably be the best course of advice at this stage of the game.
But it's going to the U.S. team, and John Lilly, who ends up being pretty much a role player for this U.S. team. A player from Boston University has ended up taking the first penalty of the game. So Canada early get an opportunity on the power play.
He goes off for high sticking. Canada's power play, by the way, heading into this game, is ranked 3rd in the tournament, working at 15% efficiency. And the U.S. penalty killing has been pretty impressive. It's 90%, although other teams have been more impressive. It's only 4th in the tournament. So we'll see what Canada can do on this power play. Steve Junker along the boards, drops it off. Here's Lindros trying to crash through the side. Back instead to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer with a good shot. This time he just flicks it in. It's knocked down. And Chris Imes can't get it out despite a villaging effort. Here's Lindros. Shoots just wide. Up around the board. Sador shooting. He just misses the mark. Team Canada trying to apply some pressure in the early going. And they look impressive in the power play, controlling the flow down in the American zone so far, but it's quickly broken up, and out comes Brian Ralston. And Ralston able to work the puck down deep into Team Canada territory. This U.S. team, like the Canadian team, full of role players. And Steve Junker, one of those role players for Team Canada, but he can't handle the pass coming in.
With Sador and Niedermeyer back in the point on this power play, Team Canada have got excellent offensive mobility.
Team Canada with just over a minute to go on the power play. Lindros gets it across in front. Bouncing puck. Here's Patrick Poulin. Takes a look in. Nowhere to go. Moves it across. Dykhouse works it to the outside. Daniel. Slaney shoots. Rebound off the boards. Poulin gets it right in front. Lindros a smack at it, but he can't put it home. And the puck comes out. Canada with 42 seconds to go on the man advantage. We played 1:45 of this first period. No score between Team Canada and Team USA. The 1992 World Junior Hockey Championship here on TSN. Happy New Year. Glad you could join us. Puck stopped up at the blue line now with 25 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Team Canada. Dykhouse up along the boards, giving a little rub, and offside is called, and a little crash just after the whistle. 14 seconds to go on the power play for Team Canada. A look at the beautiful Canadian dressing room, just slightly smaller than Gary Green's hotel room, I understand.
Well, they've got lots of signs up in their dressing room. Coach Rick Cornacchia likes to try and motivate his players with some of these signs. And maybe these signs will work today. They weren't very good to them in the game against Finland. Mind vitamins are what coaches tend to call these.
And they are up all over the dressing room. Bilodeau will chop it out for Team USA. Western Hockey League fans will be familiar with Brent Bilodeau. Canada works it in, and Dunham out to make his first big stop of the game. Jeff Nelson was at a sharp angle and couldn't tuck it home. Team's back at even strength, but Canada continues to press. Puck fired in, Dunham the stop, rebound in front. Turner Stevenson crashing the backboard, but he couldn't put it in. And Bombardier will back up along the boards, trying to scoop it back to Sador. Sador up the middle. Brent Bilodeau had it chopped away from him. Brian Rafalski, number 2, is bumped along the boards. Actually just slipped out of the brunt of that check. Nelson takes the body along the boards, trying to get it loose, and the puck flips up over the glass and out of play, and a slashing penalty coming up. And the call is going to go against Team Canada, so the U.S. will get its first power play opportunity of the game, with Chad Petty heading to the penalty box for slashing.
Canada have had some good opportunities, and as we stated before, we thought we would get some excellent performances from both goaltenders in tonight's game. Mike Dunham is an excellent goaltender, and as his general manager, Art Berglund, said, he's an intimidating championship goaltender that has got to play his best today.
As I mentioned, he didn't play against Canada last year. He's coming off a thumb injury, and there was some concern as to how right he would be for this tournament, but he's looked great so far. Lead pass up now, Kowalchuk trying to come in. Knocked away from him. Canada back shorthanded. Dykhouse gathering speed, breaks through. He gets to the net, and the puck doesn't. And Dykhouse is hooked down, and that will do it for the U.S. power play. A short-lived power play, and the best scoring chance actually went to Canada.
The pasta.
They loved it.
The sauces.
They're great.
The cooking. So easy. Introducing McCain Pasta Magic. Simply microwave the sauce. Run the frozen pasta under hot water for a few seconds, and magically, tender, just right pasta. Combine them for perfect pasta and perfect sauce.
Fettuccine.
Alfredo.
Pasta salad. My next topping.
New McCain Pasta Magic. Delicious, perfectly prepared pasta and sauce in less than 3 minutes.
It's magic.
It's McCain.
Carl Dykhouse ends up making a great move here. He goes for the net, even though they're trying to kill the penalty. And when he did that, he's such a big man, it forced Team USA to drag him down. Rich Brennan has gone to the penalty box for hooking.
Team's back at even strength, and Canada will have a brief power play. Taychuk moves it out. Lilly up to Taychuk. Lilly trailing, looks to drop it back to him, and Taychuk bouncing it in. The two-hopper fielded expertly by Kidd and cleared back down the ice. We have played 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the first period. No score between Team Canada and Team U.S. And here's Kimby Daniels with a chance. Not much room. He works it along the boards. Daniels knocked down, and Scott LaChance will work it out. Up the middle, Lilly cuts in. He's got Taychuk with him, but the pass bouncing astray. Mueller dumping it in along the boards for Team USA.
Already in this game, you can see that Canada have had their skating leg, something they really never found in the Finnish game.
And in another 50 seconds, Canada will have a 15-second man advantage, a short-lived one, as short-lived as the U.S. power play was. Slaney up the middle, ricochets off his skate. Poulin can't break through. Here's Brad Bombardier, number 55, back to pick it up for Team Canada. Out to center, Canada coming down 2-on-2. Wright cuts in. He will dance his way down into the corner, giving a bump along there. Wright waiting for the reinforcements to come in. They don't get there in time, and the puck slid back down along the boards. Icing is called on Team U.S.
Now Tyler Wright is fined for tonight's game. If you caught our Finnish game, you would have seen Tyler Wright going down and taking a hard slap shot that he tried to block in the defensive zone, but he ended up finishing the game anyway. A very aggressive, tough-nosed player for Rick Kornakia.
From Kenora, Saskatchewan, the same area Wendell Clark hails from, and Tyler Wright having a great season with the Swift Current Broncos in the Western Hockey League. We will likely see him a little bit later on this year on TSN in the Canadian Junior Hockey League All-Star Game. Eric Lindros trying to knock it loose. He battles down in front all the way back to the line. Bombardier, a weak shot, just kind of pushed it through. The U.S. able to break out. Ralston swings wide, trying to cut in the side, but he ran out of room. And Team Canada now with a 14-second power play. And Lindros will work it up at center, tucks it across to the blue line. Lapointe was tight roping along the line, but couldn't break in. And he can't get out in time. A delayed offside on Canada, now waved off. Here's Brent Bilodeau for Team USA. Team's back at even strength as Bilodeau dumps it down the ice, and icing is called against the U.S. We have played 5:24 of this first period, a 0-0 hockey game, each team with a chance in the power play.
Rick Kornakia has got his defensive pairing set up in such a way that he's got an offensive defenseman with a defensive defenseman. Well, you know what type of defenseman Scott Niedermayer is. He can rush with the puck. He's a big man with lots of reach, and he has been outstanding for Rick Kornakia.
And Scott Niedermayer, a kid who didn't mind going back to junior hockey. He was being sent back. A lot of kids don't like that, but Niedermayer actually went in and forced the issue with New Jersey, saying, if you're not going to play me, I'd rather go back to junior. And that is where he is with the Kamloops Blazers.
Young guys like Niedermayer have got to play, Paul.
LaChance gets it up along the boards, and the puck fished down the ice. Carl Dykhouse for Team Canada ringing it up around the boards. Hughes trying to come out, steps up through the middle. Brennan will tap it back up for the U.S. Dykhouse punches through. He's rushed the puck a couple of times so far and made pretty good headway. Drew the penalty earlier in the hockey game. Here's Scott LaChance, number 3 for Team USA. Ryan Sittler, number 14, out on the left-hand side for Team U.S. And he is the son of Daryl Sittler, of course. Puck bouncing around in front. Sittler coming into the front of his own net to take his man, but to play back in behind the net, and LaChance will pick it up for the U.S. Long pass up the middle. Sittler trying to break through. Got a piece of Niedermayer, and Niedermayer gets a glare at him as the puck is flipped back down into the U.S. zone.
We've seen Dykhouse rush with the puck a couple of times in tonight's game. That's not something that he has usually been doing. He's been the defensive defenseman with the pairing of Scott Niedermayer and himself.
Dykhouse known a lot more as a defensive defenseman. Here's a guy who's got a lot of offense in his arsenal. That is Ryan Sittler.
He's going to the University of Michigan next year. Right now he's been playing for Nichols Prep School in upstate New York, just outside of Buffalo.
And the proud parents.
Daryl and Wendy have been here watching this tournament. And Daryl, of course, also works for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so maybe fulfilling 2 roles at this tournament, watching out for prospects for Cliff Fletcher and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and watching his own son play, and I'm sure that's as big an enjoyment.
Steve Konowalchuk clears it in for the U.S. Chris Ferrero up there to forecheck, gets it across in front, broken up by Turner Stevenson. He will flip it out to the blue line, but not out. Ferrero knocks it down. Konowalchuk looking forward as well. Chris Ferrero comes in, dances his way through the middle, fires it in, and Kidd able to turn that back. Chris Ferrero in around back of the net. His brother Peter Ferrero, number 10, also out there in this line. And this is Chris, number 9, up there after the puck along the board. Peter wears number 10. Penny for Team Canada. Drops it all the way back. Slaney doesn't have much room. He would just ricochet it off the board. Nelson couldn't pick it up. Here comes Chris Ferrero back. Shoots. Kidd to save. Rebound in front. Bouncing puck. And it's scooped away by the Canadian defense, but kept in. Lilly shooting. Rebound. Hooked away by Kidd. Good pressure by the U.S.
Well, the Ferraro brothers got it started. They're quick hockey players. You'll hear lots of them in this game today.
Lilly moves it up down into the corner. Jim Campbell up there after it. Number 18 gets it around back of the net. Taychuk, number 17 now for the U.S. As the tide has turned here briefly. Team USA with a couple of good chances. But here comes Eric Lindros back for Canada. Shoots! Dunham, the big rebound, and it's scooped away quickly by Taychuk. Canada trying to keep it in. Lindros circles into the corner. Can't get there in time to pick up the puck, and Taychuk comes out to center. Knocked away from him. We played 8:09 of this first period. Team Canada and Team USA. And it is 0-0 here at the 1992 World Junior Hockey Championship. I'm Paul Romanuk with Gary Green and Jim Van Horn. Lilly trying to battle his way in. He's turned back at the line, and here's Lindros. Gets it up the middle, gives it away to Taychuk, who will chop it in, but Lindros will try again. Up at center, Poulin bumping, and he will continue to battle along the boards. Can't come up with it, though. Here's Schreiner coming in. Schreiner down into the corner, looks in front, tried to crash through himself through the side door, but he caught the post and gets tangled up there with Trevor Kidd.
Well, all of a sudden, it's been Trevor Kidd's turn to make some big saves, and that he's done. First of all, it was against the Ferraro brothers, and then shortly after that, Trevor Kidd has had to come up with another big save on Schreiner. Watch how Marty Schreiner goes right for the net. He was right out of scoring position, and then just ended up coming out of the corner, found some room, and that won't please Rick Kornakia because the Canadian defense shouldn't have given him that amount of room.
Trevor Kidd playing in his third World Junior Hockey Championship. He was a backup man in the first team that won a gold medal, and he was front and center last year for the team in Saskatchewan. Approaching the 9-minute mark of this first period. Both teams with some good chances. Patrick Poulin up there for Team Canada, number 19, couldn't come up with it. Niedermeyer, number 44, back to pick it up for Team Canada. That is Chris Tucker up there to forecheck, number 24 for the U.S. Ralston up there as well. And Poulin again stopped at center.
Good lead pass, though, by Dykhouse. Right out of his own corner and his own end. Nice lead pass right up the middle.
And an icing call called on Team U.S. Face-off coming all the way back down into their zone.
You know, you look at these two hockey clubs, and there's a lot of comparison. Of course, there's a lot of first-round draft picks. When you look at Team Canada, they've got 10 first-round draft selections on their hockey club. And Team USA have 5.
Dykhouse displaying his versatility with Dave King's Olympic team. They were using him on the power play for a while the defense was riddled with injuries, and he fit right in. As you mentioned, he's normally known as a defensive type defenseman.
Well, I like what he's been doing in this game so far tonight.
Little scrum off the face-off. Lindros, who was back at the left point, hurries it in, tried to get it out in front for Nelson. Nelson shoots, that rolls through the crease. Sittler trying to get it out. Jason Cullimore, number 2, moves it up. Here's Lindros, takes it off the skate and steps in. Drops it back, puck fired in on goal. Good shot by Matvechuk, seeing his first shift of the hockey game. That's number 13, Richard Matvechuk. He has been ailing with his shoulder injury here at this World Junior Championship.
It's a real surprise to see Matvechuk in the lineup. He was thinking earlier in this tournament of going home because he was hurting so much.
Ryan Hughes after it. Up along the boards. Paul Correa also seeing his first shift of the hockey game. Has it flip ahead of him. Here's Brent Bilodeau now for the U.S. Lindros comes up and pays a little visit there to Brian Holzinger. And they get tangled up over by the U.S. bench as Team USA was making a change. Lindros and Holzinger with a bit of a feud going early in this hockey game. Up through the middle. Brennan trying to come in for the U.S. He will clear it down into the corner. Ralston up to forecheck number 12. He'll bump into his man. LaChance back at the blue line for the U.S. Takes a chop at it. Able to keep it in. LaChance. Lead pass. Ferrero after it. This is Chris Ferrero trying to get it up to his brother Peter. That pass knocked down. And Team Canada in heavy traffic able to control. Jeff Nelson moves it up. Stevenson in on goal. Cuts right in front of the net, and he lost the puck in the dying seconds of that rush. Zador clears it back in for Team Canada. Stevenson up there. He will step into his man, Brennan. Back to the line. Zador shoots. That's just wide. Up around the boards, and the U.S. will come out. Chris Ferrero up there with Peter. This is Chris Ferrero getting it across in front. Konowalchuk with a chance. Kidd is down. Konowalchuk scores. The U.S. goes up 1-0.
I'm not going to tell you, because you know how many times you see that happen in a hockey game, where one team gets a good scoring opportunity, goes down, misses, and then what happens? The other team comes right back and scores. That's exactly what happened to Team Canada. Trevor Kidd made the first save. He was then caught. He was down flat, right on his butt. He couldn't get back up. Now, even when Trevor Kidd is down, he covers a lot of room, but not enough room in this case. Connor Walchuk put that puck right over top of him.
And that is a really potent line for the U.S. Steve Konowalchuk up front with the brothers Ferrero, Peter and Chris. By the way, no relation to Ray Ferrero, the NHLer. So the U.S. gets on top.
Turner Stevenson had such a good opportunity to score. He had the goaltender faked, didn't take the puck.
Dykhouse keeps the drive in for Canada. Back out in front, right with his shot. And Mike Dunham will steer that away. Lapointe after took a look at the referee after he was dumped. Penalty waved off. Niedermeyer in front. Poulin shoots just wide. Here's Lapointe trying to center it. Bouncing puck, a backhand. Another chance for Poulin, and he can't bury it. Here's Lapointe going after it, bumping with Brian Rafalski. And they will tie it up along the boards. Poulin pokes it loose, back to the line. Dykhouse shoots. Big rebound, and Dunham got enough of it to turn back the Canadian drive. We played 12:01 in this first period, the U.S. leading by 1.
GM has some resolutions to make new car buying easier. Choose $1,000 cash back for as low as 2.9% financing on selected popular models. Plus, no down payment, no monthly payments for 90 days, and no interest for 90 days. We pay. Once more from the top. Choose $1,000 cash back or as low as 2.9% financing on selected popular models, plus no down payment, no monthly payments for 90 days, and no interest for 90 days. We pay. So hurry into your GM dealer before January 7th.
Mike Dunham, property of the New Jersey Devils of the National Hockey League. Certainly the way he's played this year at the World Junior Championship. Just another in the fine stable of New Jersey goaltenders.
And he's just made some more big saves in this last couple of shifts.
Kimby Daniels for Team Canada, back of the net to Eric Lindros. Lindros trying to poke it loose. He's battling back there tooth and nail with Brent Bilodeau. A couple of very big players. Daniels almost broke through. Bouncing puck. Here's Daniels now. Right in. Score! Daniels ties it for Canada.
Well, even though the U.S. got on the scoreboard first, Canada have been very good at pursuing that puck in the offensive zone. They've been far hungrier, I think, than they have in any game in this tournament so far. They just created the turnover right there. The U.S. being responsible for carrying that puck out of the zone. And Marty Schreiner is the guilty party. He tried to walk right out of it, and he didn't find himself successful. That time, Mike Dunham couldn't stop Canada.
Kimby Daniels picks up the goal, his second of the tournament at 12:26. And Steve Junker picks up the assist, and Canada picks up its first goal of the game. Scott LaChance ripping it in off the faceoff, and that is knocked up over the glass and out of play.
You look at this U.S. team, and Canada knew that they were in for a battle. Kimby Daniels is an excellent sniper on loan for the Philadelphia Flyers, and he and his teammates knew that this Team USA were highly regarded coming into tonight's game.
Kimby Daniels, somewhat of a pet project for Team Canada coach Rick Kornacki, I think, in a lot of ways. Kornacki hoping he can bring something out of Kimby Daniels, add another element to his game. He's an exceptionally talented hockey player.
He's a feisty player, Paul, and if any problem that Kimby Daniels has in international play, it's trying to maintain the discipline.
Exactly.
He sometimes loses his cool.
I think the thing that Kornacki would like to bring out is a little bit of discipline. Daniels bringing the puck up to center for Team Canada. Just flipping it in, and Dunham will hang on to it, but offside call on Team Canada. 12:45 we have played in the first period. Live from Fussen, Germany, you're watching the World Junior Hockey Championship.
When I head for the showers, there's only one shampoo and conditioner I take. Pert Plus.
Sure, I've tried some other 2-in-1s, but with Pert Plus,
I get better lather. And to me, that means hair that's really clean. Pert Plus beats them hands down. And these other 2-in-1s, there's no question Pert Plus conditions better. Pert Plus beats them too. Look, why settle for anything else when I get cleaning and conditioning like this with Pert Plus, a winning combination for great-looking hair.
And Happy New Year indeed. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green and Jim Van Horn here in Fussen, Germany. Instead of the World Junior Hockey Championships, Canada in the hunt for a gold medal. So is Team USA. And so is Team Sweden. It is going to be a real race right to the finish. It always seems to be that way at this tournament.
With Czechoslovakia beating the Russians today, boy, that really opens things up.
Lapointe in front of the net trying to wrap it home. Couldn't knock the pass down. Here's Poulin. Off the boards, back towards the line. Bouncing puck. Poulin will swipe at it. Lapointe bulldozing his way in back of the net, bumping into Mike Dunham, the U.S. goaltender. Dunham just hurrying to get back into position. This is Poulin up there, number 19 for Canada. Can't keep it in, though. Here's Wright. Tyler Wright, right down the middle. Breaks through. Can't get the shot. Almost bounced it in off of Dunham. What a great play by Wright. He knew the angle was too sharp, and he tried to pinball it in off the goaltender.
Tyler Wright plays with a lot of emotion, and boy, is it obvious.
Team Canada making changes on the go. So, too, is Team U.S. Bilodeau just banking it up off the boards, and this is Scott Niedermayer picking it up for Team Canada, number 44. Niedermayer being washed up there by Peter Ferrero. Peter Ferrero, Chris Ferrero, and Steve Konowalchuk out there again for Team U.S. This is a real spark plug line and is responsible for the U.S. goal in this game. Nelson trying to come in for Canada. He's stopped. Ryan Hughes picks it up. Back up along the boards. Pass up the middle intended for Chris Ferrero. Couldn't knock it down. Here's Dykhouse. Being watched by Peter Ferrero. Clears it off the boards. This is Bilodeau now for the USA. Rink wide. Chris Ferrero. Up to Peter Ferrero, number 10, gathering speed, looks towards the front. He had Konowalchuk there, but couldn't get it to him, and the puck is subsequently cleared up over the boards and out of play.
Well, I don't know whether maybe Rick Kornacki let his team watch the fireworks that went off at midnight last night. That's the custom here in Germany. At 12 o'clock, then all of a sudden, the skies light up with firecrackers, and somebody has definitely put some firecrackers underneath of Team Canada today, because they have been altogether a different team than they were in the game against Finland. They were just lifeless in that game. They couldn't seem to find any jump, couldn't get their legs, didn't play with any enthusiasm, and they all knew it. But they also knew that today was a big test for them.
Puck cleared up. Ralston going up after for the U.S. Couldn't knock it down. And this is Lindros back for Canada. He's got Daniels with him. Waits for the trailer instead. This is John Slaney. Flips it in front. Lindros shoots it just wide. And play is called. A penalty coming up. It is going to be a cross-checking penalty. And it is going to go against Team USA.
Lindros was set up. He was on his forehand side just to the right of Mike Dunham. He had a glorious opportunity to put Canada right into the lead in this game.
Here's Marty Schreiner in the penalty box for the U.S. He gets called for cross-checking at 14:45. And keep your eyes peeled at the top of the screen.
Watch Schreiner right here. He gets that stick up. Cross-check form. Also got it up way too high.
So Team Canada on the power play. Kimby Daniels up front with Eric Lindros and Steve Junker. And Scott Niedermayer back at the blue line. Working with Daryl Sador. So lots of offense out there for Team Canada. Niedermayer at the blue line. Jousting there with Schneider. Couldn't keep it in. Puck cleared up. Bouncing puck. Flicked right on goal. That is stopped by Trevor Kidd. Daniels back for Team Canada. Taychuk watching him. And Taychuk will slap it up around the boards. Can't get it out, however. Lindros up there after it. Here's Daniels. Cuts in front. Scores! Daniels makes it 2-1.
Well, Kimby Daniels is showing today how he can use that extra energy he's got. Not in slapping his stick along the boards or breaking mirrors in dressing rooms, but instead by putting the puck in the net. He's a very talented young man. The Philadelphia Flyers know it. And when he decides to put that effort all into goal scoring, he's got a great eye for the net. Eric Lindros is taking a beating in the corner with a high stick, and that opened up some room for Kimby Daniels.
Daniels gets the goal on the power play, and Eric Lindros picks up the assist. And Team Canada with a 2-1 lead after the U.S. had jumped out to a 1-0 lead at about the halfway point of this first period. Imes gets it up along the boards for Ryan Sittler. Lead pass a little bit too far there for Mike Pendergast. Here comes Imes in over the line, up ahead. Holzinger with a shot, and Kidd turns that away. Puck back into the corner, and it'll be tied up. We'll have a face-off down in the Team Canada zone. Team Canada with 2 goals from Kimby Daniels on top.
Introducing a whole new way to look at Pepsi and Diet Pepsi.
It's beautiful.
He is the hero of this game so far. Kimby Daniels for Team Canada has a couple of goals, the last one coming on the power play.
Well, you know that Team USA will watch Eric Lindros fairly closely. He's the big man without question. That opens up some room for a sniper like Daniels.
Here's Stevenson. Shot goes high and wide up around the boards. Moving up after it is Ryan Hughes. Back of the net for Turner. Stevenson in front of the net. It's tapped away, and Dunham has to make a stop as Ryan Hughes was buzzing through. Jeff Nelson down on the doorstep as well for Team Canada that time. Stevenson taps the pass down. Trying to walk in. Can't get the shot away. Loose puck dragged down into the corner, and the U.S. will start back. Rafalski out at center. Campbell coming in. He is spun around by Brad Bombardier. No penalty call. And Canada comes back. Up the middle, this is Nelson. In over the blue line, Daniels again shoots it in. That shot is wide. Daniels out there gunning for the natural hat trick. Here's Dykhouse. Up to Daniels. Cuts for the front of the net. Back for Niedermeyer, and the pass a little bit too hot to handle for Niedermeyer. This is Dykhouse. Back to Niedermeyer. Cross ice. And it's Daniels sneaking away. Tried to get it in front there to Lindros. Team Canada clearing the zone. The offside waved off, but Lachance back for the USA. He will come up. Chris Ferrero is with him, as well as Peter Ferrero, and this is number 12, Steve Konowalchuk. He's knocked out of the play. Dykhouse back for Canada. Comes to the line, trying to lead Lindros, but Lindros had been pushed in offside by number 9, Chris Ferrero. The puck going up over the glass anyways.
Well, you want to get the flu update for Team Canada. It seems that that's what's been talked about a great deal ever since this team came over. Eric Lindros had suffered badly from the flu, as had other players on the team. But as of yesterday, the flu had left Team Canada. They had a day to recover, to practice, to have a little fun, to have a good team meal together last night, and a good rest. So today they feel much better, and no one has any signs of the flu. I think sure that flu bug has gone through all of Canada.
Although in fairness to all the other teams, there have been a number of teams stricken with viruses and the cold and flu going around. It hasn't been exclusively Team Canada. Rafalski trying to move it in, fires it in wide of the net, down into the corner now. Pat Peake, sensational scorer from Detroit in the Ontario Hockey League. Doing a good job for Team USA in this tournament with 4 goals so far. He can't get in front this time. Trevor Kidd makes a stop on a sharp angle shot off the stick of Chris Tucker. This is Tucker along the board to Peake. Peake had lost his stick, and he has trouble with it along the board. Niedermeyer scoops it up around. Lapointe gets it out at center for Team Canada. This is Brent Bilodeau knocking it down. Lead pass up on the wing. Ralston comes in. He's rubbed along the boards. Ralston trying to get it loose. Number 11 down in the corner. And it ends up being covered up underneath Pat Peake there somewhere in the corner. We'll have a face-off in the Team Canada zone. First intermission coming up with a preview. Here's Jim Van Horn.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. We've got Eric Lindros coming up. We took a walk with him yesterday afternoon. We'll introduce you to the defense of Team Canada. And, of course, Paul and Gary will have highlights of the first period, dominated by Team Canada in the late going. 2 goals by Kimby Daniels, gentlemen.
Now, I just want to point out something about this picture. Jim Van Horn is a pretty tall guy, and he looks rather small beside Eric Lindros.
And the last time the Team USA won a medal, they've only won one, was a bronze medal way back in 1986. So lots of motivation for Team USA to try and play well in these last 3 games.
The ironic thing is the year they won that medal, they were 3-3-1. Last year, they had their best tournament ever, 4-2-1, and they finished out of the medals. Team Canada with some pressure here, but it's broken up by Rich Brennan, number 7, who moves it up to Ryan Sittler. Sittler on the move, lead pass into the corner for Pendergast. Pendergast back in front, and no one in front to take the pass. Hulsinger lurking to the top of the slot. LaChance slapped it in wide, nowhere near Hulsinger, who was trying to get into position for the deflection. Nelson for Team Canada is rolling it down into the U.S. zone, trying to bide some time as Rick Kornacki wants to make some changes. Less than a minute to go in the period. 2-1. Team Canada is leading Team USA. Sador for Canada. Hesitates at the line, waiting for everyone to catch up. Breaking in is Junker. Now Junker in back of the net will pick it up. Looking in front for Daniels. Over to Lindros instead. Now Daniels has it. Lots of traffic down in front, and Daniels can't see any daylight, so he just dumps it off. Lindros back of the net. Bumped along the boards there by Lilly. Lindros and Lilly will battle. Cullimore clears it in. Here's Lindros in front for Sador. Shoots! Dunham with a big stop. Sador gets it back. 20 seconds left in the period. Daniels trying to get it loose. Lilly now for Team USA. He takes a bump along the board. Junker now for Canada is tied up. Brennan has a grip on him. Lindros throwing his weight around. He one-hands it loose, but Mike Dunham controlling it now for the U.S. gets rather adventurous, stepping well out of his net and just cleared it out. And time will run out in this first period. The U.S. took the lead at 11:15, but Kimby Daniels with a couple of goals, giving Canada a 2-1 lead after 1. Our first intermission coming up.
If you like Rock'em Sock'em 1 and 2, you're going to love Rock'em Sock'em 3. It's a beauty. Coach's Corner's in there, lots of hits and goals, and my buddies Troy Crowder and Bobby Probert drop in for an appearance. And wait till you see my all-time tough team, Rock'em Sock'em 3. You're going to love it.
Yes, David Watson, W-A-T-S-O-N, 555-1167. It's very important. So, ladies, can I buy you a beverage? Excuse me. Watson.
Brunette? Yeah, it's for you.
Hello? Oh, hi.
Can we buy you a blue?
A blue? Sure. No, we'd rather come down there.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're laughing. Labatt's blue. In the mood for a bit of sun. Think red. Air Canada red. You're as good as there. Do thoughts of London and Paris make your spirit soar? Think red. Air Canada red. You're as good as there.
Hi, I'm Paul Correa. I'm Turner Stevenson. I'm Steve Duncan.
I'm Brad Bombardier. And I'm Scott Niedermeyer. We'd like to wish our family and friends and everybody in BC a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes.
Welcome back to Fussen, Germany, and TSN's exclusive coverage of the World Junior Hockey Championships. Team Canada and the United States, after one period of play, a pair of goals by Kimby Daniels, one of them coming on the power play, has given Canada a one-goal lead, 2-1 over Team USA. All teams in the tournament had the day off on New Year's Eve to maybe celebrate a little bit, but not too much. It gave us an opportunity to spend some time with team captain Eric Lindros of Team Canada. We took a walk through some of the country's countryside and got his thoughts on a number of hockey topics.
Let's talk about you and the team being here in Europe. It's a little different for you because when you're in Canada, you really can't walk down any street without being recognized or approached. Is it a little easier for you to have a little anonymity over here?
Well, it's a great atmosphere over here. I mean, it's we're here to have some fun. And any chance you can go out and just be part of the scene and just hang out with the guys and have a lot of fun together. And that's the best part about it.
Do you ever think that maybe you'd like to play over here as opposed to staying in North America?
You never know what could happen. I mean, it's something you have to think about in terms of the style of hockey and the way things are over here. But I do like the way that the Germans treat life.
Let's talk about the hockey team. One of the players after your tie against Finland the other day said that maybe we're all waiting around for Eric to take control here.
Yeah.
Is that a common feeling? Do you sense that? Or do you get that impression?
Well, I mean, it's something I want to do myself, but I mean, with the circumstances at the start of the tournament, with the way Trevor was feeling and the way things just weren't going, the way that we expected. It's time that guys jumped forward and took control, and I wouldn't say it's just one or two guys that have to jump out and do it, because there are about there's 22 guys in the team, and there's 20 other people besides me and Kidder that jump out and should take a role.
Let's talk about this team. This is your third experience with the national junior team.
Yeah.
People outside have said that talent-wise, this is one of the best they've seen. How do you feel about that?
Well, we do have a lot of talent. I mean, a lot of great players here. We have a lot of fun together, and we work hard together. It's just we just got to start putting together a little bit of chemistry and lining up every for every face-off like it's our last. And
how would you compare it to the other teams you played on, the other junior national teams?
It's a little bit different because in all three occasions I've been in different roles. So, I mean, this year is a little bit similar to the one last year, but not exactly. I mean, it's hard to compare. I mean, they're three different teams.
You mentioned about the chemistry. Is the chemistry there off the ice?
Oh, the chemistry's there off the ice for sure. It's just a matter of getting chemistry between three guys on a line, chemistry between two defense pairings. That's the chemistry we got to work on right now, and that'll come. It just takes a little while, and it's about time it's happened.
How about yourself? I mean, when you look, I was watching you against Switzerland the other night, and there are guys on the ice that are literally half your size. Yeah. You've been in the Canada Cup, you've played with the Olympic team, and now in the World Junior Championships. Do you approach each game the same in every situation, or is it...
It's a little bit different. I mean, you try to approach them in the same, but it's different. It's tough sometimes to be up and to be willing to go, but that's our job. That's why we're here, and that's what we have to do.
You have a chance to be part of something very, very special with 3 gold medals in the World Junior competition. What does it mean to you personally to be in that position?
I think personally, it's a situation that I'm not only in it myself. I think Trevor's in it as well. We're here to win. We're here to have fun. 3 is great. Maybe 4 next year, depending on how things go.
You never know.
You never know.
Time magazine called him the master funny man of the age.
Now, for the first time ever, the legendary king of comedy and music is captured on video in the best of Victor Borge.
Pardon me, madam, are you laying eggs?
Recorded live, this collector's edition of Priceless Comedy is a must for every Victor Borge fan. It's the incomparable Victor Borge in his best-loved, most heartwarming comedy performance of all time.
For rush delivery, call 1-800-327-0900 or send $29.95 plus $4.95 shipping to Victor Borge, P.O. Box 747, Station A, Department 126, Downsview, Ontario.
The fascination always existed. The human body, without doubt, is the greatest of inventions. Flawless in design, capable of astonishing feats. Amazingly, the harder the body is worked, the stronger, more beautiful it becomes. To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance. All on a machine that fits in the corner of your home. Soloflex, simple and efficient, like the body itself. Which may explain why it looks less like a machine and more like a work of art. For a free brochure, call anytime.
And then I'll say, well,
Team Canada, on behalf of myself and the Winnipeg Jets, good luck at the World Junior Championships in Germany.
1992 is off to a very good start for Team Canada here at the World Junior Hockey Championships in Fussen, Germany. After the first period of play, it is Team Canada leading the USA by a score of 2-1. Both goals coming by Kimby Daniels. 3 games have already been played in the World Hockey Tournament so far today. All 3 have now been completed. Let's bring you up to date. The big upset, of course, was Czechoslovakia over CIS, the Commonwealth of Independent States. Sweden and Finland both won their games. The Czechoslovaks came into the game as an unknown quantity, lots of talent, but they hadn't spent too much time together. It looks like they are starting to gel heading into the final 3 games of the tournament. So as we take a look at the overall standings, CIS is still in first place, 1 point ahead of Sweden, 2 ahead of the United States. Canada can move into first place if they should win this game against the United States today. One of the strong aspects of Team Canada so far in this tournament has been the play of their defense. They've moved the puck and they've cleared the zone when they've had to. The defense of Team Canada has been outstanding. Let's meet them.
There's a saying, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And we are firm believers of that, the coaching staff, so that we've got to build around the defense.
We have a lot of size back there. Hopefully we'll be able to punish our opponents, and you know, we still have the mobility. You know, there's big guys there that can move, so I don't feel we'll be in trouble that way. And like I said, if we punish them, then we'll be a force.
There's 3 guys coming back from last year. That's going to be really good, you know, to have the experience from last year's tournament. And we have some guys that came from the NHL, like Sador and Niedermeyer, 2 great defensemen. And I play with the Olympic team. I think we're going to have pretty good defense.
Pretty good may be an understatement. This team was built around its defense, a defense that's anchored by 3 returnees and rounded out with 4 other quality blue liners.
You need a good mix. You need an offensive defenseman. You need a defensive defenseman. You need somebody that can move the puck really well, a guy that jumps up in the play, another guy that stays home.
I think you'll see a combination of within the team, you know, combinations where there'll be a player that is a little bit more defensive-minded and moves the puck with the pass, as opposed to a player that might be a little more offensive-minded and likes to jump into the attack. And those are great traits for a hockey club. It keeps the opposition off balance. They're not sure who's doing what when, and I think that's critical. And I think that certainly you'll see that as being one of our strengths.
It's great to have 3
defense kind of returning with international experience that were on last year's team, as well as Daryl Fedor and company that have a tremendous amount of experience at the NHL or OHL or CHL level.
There's Scott Niedermeyer. He was picked 3rd overall by the New Jersey Devils in last year's entry draft. John Slaney was last year's hero. He scored the game-winning goal against the Soviets that gave Canada the gold medal. Carl Dykhouse is also back. He's on loan from the Canadian Olympic team that will be going for gold in Albertville next month. Daryl Fedor is a member of the LA Kings. They've released him for the Christmas holidays so he can play with the national juniors. Jason Cullimore is a 6'5", 223-pound defenseman with the Peterborough Petes. He was a 2nd-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks last June. Brad Bombardier plays hockey at the University of North Dakota. He's from Powell River, BC. Bombardier is a 3rd-round pick of the New Jersey Devils. Finally, there's Richard Matvichuk. He was chosen in the 1st round by the Minnesota North Stars last June. Together, the 7 budding superstars make up Canada's defense corps, the pride of the national junior team. And they certainly have lived up to their billing so far in this tournament. Canada continues to lead the USA 2-1. We are finished 1 period of play. We'll be back to Fussen, Germany on New Year's Day right after this.
You know, I just love this new Diet Pepsi song, but do you think it's caught on yet?
You got the right one, baby.
Diet Pepsi.
You got the right one, baby. You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby.
In the world of sports, I've been to just about every big game, and now you can too.
Introducing the ultimate sports club. The only club to package travel, accommodation, and great seats to every major sporting event in North America. Now you can really be there.
Any regular game, any championship, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, you name it.
We're your ticket to any sport.
Join the club and get your own club card and membership kit, seating plans to stadiums, and a calendar of sports special events, plus an exclusive club voucher good for 3 nights accommodations in Las Vegas. Just $24.95 a year. And if you join now, you'll get a 2nd year free, so become a member now.
To join, call 1-800-533-4400, 1-800-533-4400, or send $24.95 plus $3 shipping to Box 3351, Station D, Toronto, Ontario, M2R 3G6.
Welcome back to Fussen, Germany. In the 1st period, the Americans opened the scoring 11-15 in. Steve Konowalchuk scored his 3rd of the season from Chris Ferrero to make it 1-0. And then Kimby Daniels went to work, his 2nd goal of the season at 12:26, tied at 1, and his power play goal made it 2-1. Shots on goal in that 1st period in favor of Canada.
This is Chris Ferrero getting it across in front. Konowalchuk with a chance, getting down and score. Here's Daniels now, right in, score. Watching him. Haychuk will slap it up around the board. Can't get it out, however. Lindros up there after it. Here's Daniels. Cuts in front. Score!
As I mentioned, shots on goal in that period in favor of Canada, 15-12 over the United States. We're just about set to start the 2nd period of play. We'll be back to Fussen, Germany after this break.
For the top brands in hockey equipment and low prices, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire. Giving you the time to turn that raw talent into tomorrow's pro.
Pretty good crowd on hand here in Fussen, Germany, and they saw a very exciting 1st period of hockey. Team Canada really picking up the physical aspect of its game as compared to the last time we saw them in action, and they lead by a score of 2-1. Kimby Daniels with both goals for Team Canada, and they start this period at even strength. Puck bouncing around for Patrick Poulin. Moved it up, trying to spring Martin Lapointe, but the pass leading him just a little bit too much. Campbell along the boards for the U.S. number 18, checked by Dykhouse, who gets it into the corner. Campbell after it again, just kind of fishes it loose. LaChance up the middle. Misses the intended receiver, and icing is called on Team USA.
Well, what will be important to the coaching staff in that intermission is the fact that they get across to the team that they had a good first period. They had some good jump. They were taking the body, but not to rest on it. They had to use that first period as a springboard to play that much better in this second period. I've got a feeling that maybe Team USA, who did not play their best first period of this tournament, might be a little bit more aggressive in this second period. So Canada are going to have to improve even on the first 20 minutes.
Gary, do you think that at times the U.S. players are still maybe a little bit in awe of the Canadian players when they go out to face them?
I don't think there's any question about the fact that the U.S. players look at this big team Canada, the biggest team in the tournament, and are a little bit concerned about the way that they play. And I think it takes a period of play for Team USA to get their game together.
Brent Bilodeau, one of the biggest players on the U.S. team, clears it in. But Jason Cullimore, one of the biggest players in the Canadian team, gets it back out. Up off the boards. Ralston moving after it. Ralston trying to get it in front, battling with Junker. He rolls it through the doorstep, but there was nobody home. Here comes Lindros, cutting in for Canada. For Daniels, trying to return the favor to Lindros in front. Bilodeau was watching him like a hawk. Puck fired in by Slaney. That bullet was just low and wide. Up around the boards. Pass just missing the intended receiver, Ralston. Here's Cullimore. Lead pass. Lindros on the move. Couldn't knock it down. Bilodeau will chop after him as they go into the corner. Bilodeau rings it up around the boards. Here's Pat Peake, number 16. Can't push it out. Ralston can't get it out either. Loose in front. Chance for Hughes, but couldn't quite pull the trigger. Brad Bombardier now for Canada, number 55. Will dump it back into the U.S. zone. Both teams making some changes. Here's Sidor for Canada. Weak shot, knocked down in front of the net. It's just backhanded wide by Stevenson. Here's Trevor Kidd out of his net. Moves it up, hands it right away to Peter Ferrero. Right in front, Kidd with a big stop. Peter Ferrero moved it in to his brother Chris. But Kidd was there with the answer.
I'm not sure why Trevor Kidd made that move the way he did. He had the right wing side open to him if he wanted to move the puck. Instead, he shot it up the left and right to Team USA. Watch this. It ends up going not out of the zone as he had hoped it might, but he came back and bailed himself out with a great save. He took that puck right away from Chris Ferrero. Ferrero was not sure how Kidd made that move. You know, they say that Chris Ferrero and Peter Ferrero are so much alike, Paul, that the general manager, Art Berglund, said the only way that you can tell them apart as hockey players and people is that Peter's got a mole on the right side of his cheek, and that's the only difference there are the two hockey players. He compares them both to that of Pat LaFontaine, said that they're just great individuals.
Pat LaFontaine, one of the fine character hockey players anywhere. Puck bouncing up out of play, and we get another stoppage. We played 2:06 of this second period. Canada leading by a score of 2-1. And there's the other brother. That's Peter Ferrero. Now, can you tell them apart? Maybe we can do a split screen or something. And
not with those masks over their face, Paul. Both of them have gone to play where hockey competition was a little bit better. They've gone to Dubuque Fighting Saints, which is a prep school. And when we can refer to them being a lot like Pat LaFontaine, they talk about the quickness, their real competitiveness. Teams, the NHL scouts, are going to be watching those two brothers very closely.
Both undrafted. Niedermeyer up the middle. Almost snuck away Turner Stevenson. Make that Martin Lapointe, who almost snuck in behind the defense. Todd Hall moves it up around the board. Can't get it out. Finally, he does. This is Carl Dykhouse for Team Canada. Over to Niedermeyer. Waits and fires it back in. Poulin moving up to forecheck. Around with Lapointe. Can't come up with it. Chris Ferrero on the way out. He's got his brother Peter with him on the right side. They crisscross at the line. Ferrero moves it up. He's knocked down by Dykhouse. And Niedermeyer will take over for Canada. Niedermeyer gathering speed at center. Up ahead to Poulin. He will give chase down into the corner. Tyler Wright is up there to join the drive. Bouncing puck is knocked down, and back comes Chris Tucker for the U.S. to Ferrero, who dumps it in. And the U.S. using the opportunity to make some changes with the puck in the offensive zone. Dykhouse trying to knock it loose. Halsinger can't get it. Ryan Sittler is tied up by Slaney, and Canada comes back. Pass up the middle for Lindros into his skate, and Tucker will pick it up as play picks up a notch or two here in the second period. Tucker with a wrist shot in. Kidd stopping that. It's in the corner. Slaney scoops it up around the boards. Here's Scott LaChance. Just keeps it in. Lindros almost bumping with his own man, Dykhouse. Slaney up ahead to Lindros. He's got 3 to beat. And he will just barge through, drops it off in front. Trying to cut in there is Junker. And that shot was blocked. Junker catching up with his man there along the boards at center. Here's Lindros. Battering his way back in. Daniels is in front. Lindros back for Slaney. Cuts in, centers it. Daniels had it on the backhand and couldn't knock it down. Lilly, lead pass up, trying to get Tachuk, and he was tied up there by Junker. Lindros back for Canada. 2 to beat. And he can't beat those odds. Here's Daniels into the corner. Takes a look in front. Lindros is heading to the bench on a line change. So Daniels had no one to pass it to, really. Tachuk back for the U.S., but the pass is up over 2 lines, and we get a stoppage. You are watching the World Junior Hockey Championship live on TSN. Kimby Daniels scoring a couple of goals for Team Canada in that first period. Steve Konowalchuk scored the goal for the U.S. Puck cleared in there by number 9, Ryan Hughes for Team Canada. Hughes along the boards trying to get it loose. Stevenson up there bumping around. Stevenson in back of the net, couldn't get it in front to anyone. Here's Bombardier. Waits for his mates to get on side. He will backhand it in. Nelson couldn't catch up to it. Here's Sador after it. Battling with Ralston. Tries to get it up ahead. Pendergast was coming in. Couldn't get there in time. Mueller. Here's Sador. Puck kicked over. Patrick Poulin comes in. He's got Stevenson with him. Canada making some changes now. So Stevenson and Poulin will have to handle it alone for a few seconds. Now Wright is out there. Shoots! Just wide. Poulin along the boards. Number 19 for Canada. Trying to dig it loose there against Pat Peake. And they will scrum it up along the boards, and we'll get a face-off down in the U.S. zone.
You know, the big difference, Paul, in these type of arenas, and especially this one here in Fussen, is take a look at those 2 benches. And you see how far the players are spread out on them? These benches are 51 feet long. Now, that gives you lots of room, no question about it, but it can also be a problem. That's twice the size of a National Hockey League bench, and that brings up some difficulties. It's difficult for coaches at times to... You can see where Rick Kornacki is standing, and when he has to yell all the way down to the other end of the bench, that's a long ways down. And yet the players can't really huddle closer together because then they're not taking advantage of their positioning out on the ice. So for defensemen, they want to be way down at the end closest to their goaltender on the bench.
Dykhouse with it for Team Canada will start back. Just flipping it down into the U.S. zone, and that will skip down for icing. Of course, you've likely noticed the international icing rule applying. The puck just has to cross the line, and it's called back instead of a player having to go back and touch it.
Well, Rick Kornacki put his team through a workout yesterday, and they did a lot of drills that really emphasized moving the puck quickly. They emphasized drills that were making them jump. They had some good quickness, some acceleration, and they had a lot of fun at practice yesterday, too, along with the team picture.
Pretty good contingent of Canadian fans on hand. Many over on ski vacations. Must be nice. And dropping in to catch some hockey. And this will be a penalty call. A high sticking call, and it looks as though it's going to go against the USA. So Canada will get another chance in the power play, and the power play opportunities have come much more for Team Canada in this game than in its last couple.
Well, the U.S. no doubt wanted to play a physical game against Canada, but at the same time, just as Canada realizes, you can't sit in the penalty box and try to beat stiff competition. Connor Walchuk this time is the man receiving the high sticking penalty.
Connor Walchuk, property of the Washington Capitals. He plays for Portland in the Western Hockey League.
And he's one of USA's better forwards. In fact, he's a man today they were counting on in leading them.
Canada 1 for 3 on the power play. Tachuk for the U.S. just moving it back into his own end to buy some time, and he will slap it to the Canadian blue line. Here comes Niedermayer. Daniels, Junker, and Lindros up front for Canada on this man advantage. Daniels has a pair, and he has the puck now at the top of the point. Niedermayer takes a look, doesn't see much daylight, works it across to Lindros, right in front of the net. Daniels shooting, and a big stop by Mike Dunham.
Good play by Eric Lindros. He was parked off to the right of Dunham. And it was obviously a set play, a play which would have Daniels come scooting into that big open ice area in the slot and Lindros hitting him. That he did with a good pass, and Daniels had Dunham down. Daniels just scooted in and went to his backhand, and Dunham was able to get from his left to his right quickly enough to make the save.
Dunham with a save percentage of 95% heading into this game. 1.33 goals against average. Daryl Sador tight roping along the line, peels to the outside, trying to work it back in front. Niedermayer now. Lindros back to Niedermayer. Niedermayer again. To Lindros again. Right across in front of the net, and Junker couldn't get his stick in the pass. Here's Sador to Niedermayer. Gets it across in front, and Junker again sweeping through. Junker coming through the back door as the team trying to load up one side. And both times Junker was unable to knock the pass down.
Steve Junker's got good hands, though, and he can capitalize on those opportunities.
Daniels just missing it there at the blue line. And back comes the U.S. Lilly right in on goal, and he is pulled down by Sador. A penalty coming up, and that will kill off the remaining 39 seconds of Canada's power play.
Good play by Lilly. He knew that if he went for the net, that it was going to force Sador to either take him out and take a penalty, or else he wouldn't get to him in time, and it would allow him to get a scoring opportunity. Instead, Sador pulls him down and goes off to the penalty box.
So the teams will remain at even strength for another 39 seconds, and then the U.S. will go on the power play.
Well, Canada had their opportunities, Paul, on the power play. They just couldn't connect. They moved the puck around well, and they had players in the proper position.
Junker had a couple of good chances.
Yeah,
just couldn't
sure
convert
did.
the passes.
Eric Lindros had his head up and set up two of those good opportunities.
Bilodeau, number 5, back in his own end for the U.S. Up off the boards and able to start it out. Brian Ralston, one-on-one, trying to get to the outside of Matvechuk, and he couldn't. Schneider back for Canada. Andy Schneider, number 17, clears it in. In 10 seconds, the U.S. will go on the power play. We have played 8 minutes of this second period. Canada continuing to lead by a score of 2-1. Chris Imes coming in for the U.S. Number 8. Halsinger up there to help out. And the U.S. now going to work on the power play. So getting to that puck quickly to get it out is Ryan Hughes.
Matvechuk is without his stick right now, and they're a man short as it is. He's got to get to the bench and get a stick.
And I'm surprised Trevor Kidd would keep the puck in play with one of his defensemen playing without a stick. But Kidd did just that, and finally Canada getting it down the ice. And here comes the line change. And Matvechuk will head to the bench without his stick. 50 seconds left in the U.S. power play. On the way through, Campbell bullies his way to the top of the slot. Lilly was down there but couldn't pick it up, but he's got it in the corner. Lilly looking for the front, but both U.S. players were tied up over along the boards. Back now for Canada. Martin Lapointe. Waiting for the trailer to come up through the slot. That was Tyler Wright, but he couldn't get it to him. The pass went off his skate.
Wright didn't move quickly enough. He saw the open ice, but he didn't see it soon enough. He could have been in alone.
15 seconds to go on the man advantage for the U.S. And that pass going up over 2 lines. Offside pass. The faceoff will come back into U.S. territory.
Paul, some of the returning players from last year's gold medal winning team at the World Championships in Saskatoon are the ones that can draw on some of that experience. The ones that can lead Team Canada in a game such as this, an important game. Martin Lapointe's a tough winger. He's played 4 games so far this season for the Detroit Red Wings. And his play today along the boards, he's shown some good aggressiveness without going to the penalty box.
He was hurt in Detroit earlier this year, didn't play much after the injury.
He's a guy that's spent a lot of nights in the hotel so far this season.
And another icing call against Team USA. They have 1 second remaining in their man advantage. So suffice to say, it is over in terms of the power play.
Interesting listening to Eric Lindros on his walk with Jim Van Horn, and it's very true is that there are a number of players on this hockey club, and maybe some players are looking at Eric Lindros to all of a sudden take charge and lead the way. His mom is probably one that thinks a little differently, and sometimes she expects a lot out of Eric himself. Eric is a person that strives to be the best, but at the same time, I think a lot of these players here on Team Canada have the capabilities of leading the way.
Bombardier couldn't get the shot through for Canada. Team's back at even strength, and Daryl Sador has it now. Pass up missing the intended receiver, Kimby Daniels, and icing is called on Team Canada. So we have run into a bunch of icing calls as we come up in the midway point of this hockey game. Canada continuing to lead by a goal. Canada with 15 shots on goal in the first period. Eric Lindros took a few of those shots, and he will take this faceoff. Canada getting 2 goals in those 15 shots, both from Kimby Daniels. Eric Lindros had an assist. Steve Konowalchuk scored the goal for the U.S. And there we sit. 2-1 hockey game as we tick up to the halfway point. The 1992 World Junior Hockey Championship here on TSN. Bilodeau pushing the puck into the corner in the Team Canada zone. Here's Pat Peake looking in front. Peake working it around, rolling in the goal crease. Hulsinger was there in front, but couldn't knock it through. There wasn't much room. Bombardier. Lead pass up for Lindros a little bit too far. And 2-line pass called on Team Canada. The faceoff will come all the way back into their zone.
When Pat Peake is
10-18 in the second
on
period.
the ice, Paul, then you've got to be careful because he's a sniper as well, and he's a good offensive player. Any loose pucks around the net, he's apt to be the one that will jump on them. Brent Bilodeau, who was the first draft choice of the Montreal Canadiens this past draft. We've got 5 USA players who were first-round draft picks for the National Hockey League.
Turner Stevenson, one of his teammates in junior hockey for a while in Seattle, also a first-round draft pick of the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal actually taking 3 first-round picks in a row from Seattle. Lindsay Vallis, Turner Stevenson, and Brent Bilodeau. I guess they like Seattle. Brennan trying to come in. Puck knocked in by Konowalchuk, but offside called on Team USA. The pace has really slowed down, and do you think that's by accident or design in the part of the U.S. team?
I think the U.S. have really played a very patient defensive game most of the night so far. Turner Stevenson has been banging the body and winning control of the puck along the boards and in the corners, and Team USA seem to be playing a little tentative. Now, that's not to say that they're frightened of the way that Canada can control the boards, but I think, again, there's a little bit too many, or there are far too many of these players that are in awe of Team Canada.
If you were down behind the U.S. bench coaching this team, would you want them to slow the pace down against a club like Canada?
No, not at all. I think Team USA are a good skating hockey club with good offense, and they've got to do what they do best.
Tkachuk really lowering the boom on Canada's Martin Lapointe. He gets crumpled to the ice. He gets up without a helmet. Puck fired in now by Brennan. That is blocked. And Lapointe will joust along the boards with Campbell without his helmet. Here comes Canada back 3-on-2. Poulin Gets it up ahead, dropped in front for LaPointe, but he was tied up on the play. Jason Kellamore goes in back of the goal. Tyler Wright gives chase, but can't pick it up. LaChance up the middle to Lilly. Cutting in over the blue line, Taychuk drops it back. Campbell with a shot just wide. Daryl Sador picking it up now for Team Canada. Taychuk trying to give him a rub, but can't come up with it. Sador still with it, breaks the blue line, but offside is called on Team Canada. What a shift for LaPointe.
He lost his helmet, and go back and watch it again. He ran into Taychuk, and Taychuk's a big man. That hurt Martin LaPointe, but he got right back up and wanted to get into the scrum again. He forgot about the helmet and went right after the puck.
If anyone with the Winnipeg Jets organization is watching, probably a little smile on their face right now because Keith Taychuk was a Winnipeg draft pick, and they really like the way he plays. Characterize him as a prototypical winger, tough.
The only question has been about Taychuk has been his skating, and especially on the big ice surface. But his leadership abilities and his determination make up for that lack of skating skill.
How soon do you think we might see him in Winnipeg?
Good question, Paul. I don't think Winnipeg are going to rush any of their young players right now, but they'll give them a good look-see next year.
Puck cleared up over the boards and out of play. Taychuk will play this year with the U.S. Olympic team. A 2-1 hockey game. We'll be back after this. You can see in the background in this arena, that is glass all along the walls, which is something that you see a lot more here in European hockey rinks than back home in North America.
Makes it very bright for day games.
Great rush up here by Imes. Cuts right in front of the net, and Kidd with the save. Couldn't see the rebound, and the Ferreros, Chris and Peter, both had chances and both missed. And a penalty coming up against the USA. It is going to be Peter Ferrero going off for holding at 12:28.
I don't know how Konowalchuk got that shot away. I thought Daniels had him and was covering him all the way to the net. Somehow, all of a sudden at the last minute, Konowalchuk got off a shot, and Trevor Kidd had to come up with a big save. Daniels was all over his man.
And then the penalty coming back up along the boards after the play was moving back down ice.
Pretty good example, though, for a back checker like Daniels, is that it's great to take the body, but you better make sure you've got the stick. That's what does the damage, and that's exactly what Trevor Kidd found out.
Niedermeyer starting out for Team Canada on the power play with a 2-1 lead. Niedermeyer can really move. He gets to the outside of LaChance. Now all the way back around. Here's Nelson. Sador with a shot. That's turned back. And Niedermeyer heading back down to pick it up.
What a great advantage on a power play when you've got a guy like Niedermeyer that can simply carry the puck all the way out of the zone for you and get it set up in the offensive zone.
Two-line pass called there on Team Canada.
Doesn't look like there's anyone on the ice for Team USA that can really stop Niedermeyer when he decides he's going to wind up and take it from one end to the other end. He did that on that last rush, which then allowed his teammates to get set up for the power play opportunity.
He played in the 1990 Memorial Cup Championship as a 17-year-old and looked great. He's just gotten better and better.
He was outstanding in the game against Sweden and still rushed well with the puck in the game against Finland.
He can also play up on the wing. Seen him do it a couple of times over here with Team Canada. He has done it numerous times back in Kamloops with his junior club. His junior coach, Tom Rennie, is an assistant here with this Canadian team. Very talented hockey player. Here comes another talented player, Tyler Wright, but he won't get a chance to shoot the puck this time because Canada is offside with just over a minute to go in the man advantage.
You want to talk about offensive defensemen? Well, Canada's got their fair share of them. John Slaney and Daryl Sador, Scott Niedermeyer, and even the way Carl Dykhouse has played in tonight's game, you'd think that he was a great offensive defenseman. John Slaney has got the experience from last year playing on this team, from the Cornwall Royals, and more importantly, for the people home on the Rock, St. John's, Newfoundland. And they're very proud of this young man.
They had a big reception for him last year back in Newfoundland after he had scored the winning goal. About 3,000 people packed into the local arena. He says he has a stack of plaques about 10 high back at home in his bedroom.
I think the people from the Rock put on a great reception for anybody that comes home.
Great part of Canada to visit.
Sure is.
Dykhouse gets it across to Slaney. All the way over for Lindros. Heavy traffic in front, and Lindros will move into the fray to join it. Now he dips in back of the net. Here's Dykhouse back at the point. Right. Shoots. And that pinballs off a couple of players and ends up missing the net. Here's Slaney. Moving in. Up against the flow. Into Lindros now. 39 seconds to go on the power play. Slaney didn't have room. Gets it again. Dykhouse waiting. Sends it right across in front, hoping maybe to bump it in off a leg or a skate. Didn't work. Up the middle for the U.S. Lilly trying to break through. And he runs headlong into John Slaney. 19 seconds left in the man advantage for Canada. Wright coming up. He's got Kimby Daniels trailing. Wright drops it off for Lindros. Daniels is in front, and the puck rolls right through the slot out of the reach of Daniels. 3 seconds left in the man advantage for Canada. Slaney comes in. Lindros is with him. Couldn't get it there, however, and the puck cleared down the ice by the U.S. Trevor Kidd under some pressure from Peter Ferrero up there with a little surveillance. Couldn't pick it up. Here's Daniels. Into the corner. Ferrero in front, and what a stop by Kidd. Chris Ferrero to Peter Ferrero. Checkmate Kidd. Well, he did it again. Trevor Kidd with another great stop on a bang-bang reflex reaction type play.
That was a bullet slap shot right from the slot. Trevor Kidd just put his body in front of it.
Mueller bouncing it in. That's knocked away. Swatted away by Sador. Ryan Hughes now with Nelson breaking up. So is Turner Stevenson. Neither could get the pass. Miller will clear it back in. Here's Bombardier. Up ahead for Nelson. Bouncing puck. And offside called on Team Canada.
Well, we talked about it. Let's go back and take another look at that outstanding save by Trevor Kidd. The Ferraro brothers connect. And Trevor Kidd just robbed Peter from a great opportunity to score. Let's take a look at Trevor Kidd's stick. Now, he put two knobs on his stick, one at the very top and then one down a bit. And the reason he does that is to take away some of the vibration from good hard slap shots that he stops with the blade of his stick. It's very unusual. You don't see a lot of goaltenders that tape their stick in that manner.
First impression is you'd think it would be for the grip, and that's what we thought until we asked him, and he says that it kind of dampens the vibration a little bit. Played 15-20 of this second period. Team Canada leading the U.S. 2-1. Here's Taychuk trying to get it in front. Taychuk has been just great along the boards in the Canadian zone so far in this game. Look at him throw his weight around as he gave Niedermeyer a little shove there.
Taychuk was also guilty of some checking from behind right there. I don't think he's being called on it, but I think he was being warned. And Taychuk isn't finished yet. The linesman tried to separate him. He took a knock initially from Niedermeyer, but ended up with possession of the puck. Now watch the battle continue. Niedermeyer went right back after Taychuk, had his stick wrapped around him. Taychuk didn't appreciate that, so he ran Niedermeyer right straight into the boards, head first.
Got a little streak of Mark Messier in there somewhere. A little meanness.
Oh, Winnipeg would like to hear that.
Lindros's lead pass for Junker is a little bit too far, so Lindros comes up to get it. Gloves it down onto his stick. And offside called on Team Canada.
Americans, as we told you earlier, are coached by Walt Kyle, but they also have some very capable assistants. John Cunniff, the former coach of the New Jersey Devils, is helping Walt Kyle, as is Bob O'Connor, who is well known in the Edina, Minnesota area. Both of them have assisted Walt Kyle in the coaching duties of Team USA.
Bob Connor's job is basically to concentrate on breaking things down on video, a la a good friend of yours, Roger Nielsen. Cutting in now, Nelson worked it in front. And Canada turned back that time. Bombardier will lead the next rush. Brian Ralston picks it up. Nelson bumping his man, trying to chop it loose. Back for the U.S. is Brent Bilodeau. Pat Peake is up there with him. So's Ralston. Puck into the corner. Peake in there after it. Konowalchuk back to the line. Bilodeau with a shot. Had a bead on the short side and missed. Imes clears it in. Konowalchuk make that Halsinger back of the goal, number 15. He couldn't get it. Canada breaks out quickly. Stevenson to center. He will punch it in around the boards, and Rick Kornacki will make some changes on the fly. Played 16:47 of this second period, and Canada continuing to lead 2-1. No scoring yet in this second frame.
Well, there's John Conniff. We just talked about how he has been assisting Walt Kyle in coaching this junior team. And, of course, with good National Hockey League experience and college experience, John Conniff knows how to scout and knows how to break down the skill levels of the opposition. Conniff is also assisting them with their U.S. Olympics program. And, oh, yes, the Olympics are coming up very soon.
Here's Niedermeyer. Tried to zip it through there. Didn't quite have enough time. Mike Pendergrass was waiting right on his doorstep. Poulin up there to forecheck. Here's Dykhouse. Back in for Patrick Poulin. Lapointe comes in there to pick it up. Poulin going for the front of the net. Lapointe trying to get it to him. Was kind of dragging the puck along in his skates and couldn't convert the pass. Here's Dykhouse. Lapointe crisscrossing at the line there with Poulin, but can't come in. Rafalski moving it up. Dykhouse knocks it down, gets it up ahead. Here comes Poulin trying to get to the outside, shoots, and Dunham pulls it off the top shelf.
What a great shot, though, by Poulin. He knew where he wanted to put it. He was headed for that top corner, glove side. Mike Dunham may have teased him a bit. Watch this play. Watch Poulin. He gets his head up just at the last second. He knows he's got to go to the far side. Dunham has come across, taken away pretty much the angle, but teased him a little bit glove side.
Dunham didn't play the last game for the U.S. Corwin Sardiff played it, and everyone was shocked because Dunham had been playing so well. Sardiff went in, and the U.S. got smoked 8-6 by Sweden, and many people questioning as to why Sardiff would have played the game and not Dunham, clearly the #1 goaltender. 20/20 hindsight. In front, Dunham another huge stop as he came out to cut down the angle on Steve Junker. Cullimore at center for Canada. Spun around by his man. LaChance moves it up, gets it in front, scores! Chris Ferrero.
Cullimore got caught up in the play, but also by the way that the Ferrero brothers have been playing in this game, you knew it was only a matter of time before they would just get more scoring opportunities. Cullimore is fighting to get back, but it shouldn't have been a difficult situation. It was still only a 2-on-2, but for some reason, Canada just opened up right here. Watch what Slaney does. Slaney goes with his man, Scott LaChance. But then that left a 2-on-1. Cullimore still had not got back, and Chris Ferrero found the room. What a great shot that was.
His third of the tournament, and Scott LaChance picks up the assist. Nice play by LaChance. He just put a nice soft pass over onto the stick of Chris Ferrero. And the U.S. ties it up at 2.
Mike Dunham has provided Team USA today with exactly what they were hoping he would. And that has been big saves to give players like Chris Ferrero the opportunity to come back and score. That was a big save. Dunham just stood his ground, took that shot away, And then his team came right back down the ice and scored.
The other assist, by the way, in the goal going to Peter Ferrero. So it's Chris Ferrero from Scott LaChance and Peter Ferrero at 17:56. The U.S. with a big goal late in the second period to knot it at 2. Turner Stevenson for Team Canada. To Nelson, who will zip it down into the U.S. zone. Mueller gets it up around the boards, but Canada continuing to press. Not for long. Finally, it's cleared out, and here's Sador. Nelson knifing it in. Rafalski up off the board. Sador keeps it in. Wrist shot in front. It rolls through to Dunham. He chops it away. Hughes looking to get it in front. Nelson was there. Nelson chopping at it. Here's Bombardier. In back of his own net. Drags his man Jim Campbell down to the ice, and a couple of extra shots exchanged after the whistle. And we'll have a face-off down in Team Canada territory. We are late in this second period. Second intermission is upcoming, and let's go to Jim Van Horn for a preview.